ETE Imhotep Seni Senet Ankwas the Jet Uncle Jasanab Dua Henu for listening to another episode of Praise the Divine. And of course, you can always check us out at praisethedivine.org. That's praisethedivine.org. Praisethedivine.org. And of course, you know what we serve up. We serve up some of the better lectures when it comes to the Remetz lifestyle and Remetz spirituality. When it comes to the Remetz Ankh, the Remetz life. So uh, it's your host, your brother Asaram Ka. Get comfortable. Get your tools out. You know what we do. You see this right here. This is one of our tools because it's dormant in your house, right? There's a lot of people bumping their gums about what they supposedly do and this, that, the other. Well, you should know how to use this tool. That's what I'm doing. I'm implementing that into your life again. And the sky, but the wind wet wob out here, us pure hour watchers, if you will, us astronomers and astrologers. So very important things. As you see today, right here at the bottom, it should say the 17 members of the body. And you know, we're going back to our Divine Body series lecture. And we talk about the 17 members of the body. And it's very important because of a couple things. One, because obviously you have more than 17 members on your body. But this is how the Remetz saw the body. This is one of the breakdowns that they have of the body. And it's very important to know these things so you can understand the insight and how your ancestors felt about certain things and about you being divine. And we're going to cover some of those things today, obviously. So let's hop into it. 17 members of the body. You may be familiar. Some of you may be unfamiliar with the papyrus. It's the Rhine bilingual papyrus, and there's the Jumalak papyrus, which we'll pull up the Jumalak papyrus later today. Both of these talk about the body and what to do in the sense when you're doing embalming and the soul, what happens to the body, etc., etc. And in this, they cover these particular parts. They cover these particular body parts, and that's very important. So first, let's make a list. Let's get the list. There's the 7 portions of the face, right, or openings or holes in your face, or netcharu in your face. There's your nose. There's your eyes. There are your ears, and there is your mouth, right? 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7. 7 openings in the head. Then you have 4 internal organs, which also correlate to the children of Heru. And I believe I've done a discussion on them. I won't be covering them too much today, but Dua Mutef, Kabesanu, Set, Happy, the children of Heru. Those are your internal organs. And you find when you pass away that they put these organs in the canopic jars, or they put these organs in the children of Heru, and they safeguard them for you. They safeguard your organs for you. And that's what they're there for. But they only name 4. But when you get deeper, this is part of your homework, when you get deeper into the discussion about what they protect for you, you find that it's just not just your intestines, right? There are other things that they protect that are a part of your body. You also find the 4 necharet, which coincide with them, that protect other parts of your body, don't you? So there's more to that than that. But we're not going to get into that because that's easy information. That's easy information for you to find. And you should be able to find it fairly easy. So we have, once again, we have the 7 openings in the face. We have the 4 internal organs. That's what, 11? And then we have our 2 arms. And then we have our 2 legs. And then we have the front and the back of our bodies, right? We know the back of your head is Heru, represents Heru, etc., etc. This is all in this book, the Book of Coming Forth by Day. If you're using it, if you know it, a lot of you don't use it. And when you don't use it, it makes me sad. It makes me quite sad because it shows that a lot of you talk about this lifestyle and you have no idea how it works, how it operates. You're not involved with it. And I think a lot of the reason you got a lot of people pumping science and you get scared that your science and spirituality won't marry each other. But your science and spirituality marry each other. The other thing is, when it comes to science only, you leave out the spiritual. When it comes to spiritual, you can't leave out the science. And they're married in African traditions. So anyone teaching that they're not, it's not of an African tradition. It's really that simple. And to use a scientific test of if spirituality is useful, number one, it's psychology. Psychology. It's number 2, a code of ethics. And number 3, if we use a science test, who's got more convolutions in the brain? A spiritual person or a scientist? Guess who wins? Guess who wins? Science conducted the test already. The Asian monks used about 80%. The scientist wasn't even close. You know why? Because when you start to psychologically believe something, it can make your body achieve more than what you naturally would do. It makes your body do what we would call supernatural, which is really just naturalness hyped up, it's pumped up. I've said this before. Some of the brothers have been saying it recently. This is old information. When you believe, you can achieve, you know. So belief is not necessarily a dead issue, you know, but it must be backed by science. You must know so you can grow. And then you must have belief in what you know in order to perform on higher spiritual levels. So you can be more supernatural. This is how you supersede expectations, right? That's it. Anyway, let's get into it, right? So the first part we're going to get into is the breathing, the nose. But before we get started, shout out to my partner at work, my man Kenny. That who that is strong with me, you understand? That who that is strong in the house. And he can make you one if you need one, just by the way. Go to, let's start. We're going to start with the nose. And I've actually read these hymns before. Let's go to hymn 55, or spell 55 in your Book of Coming Forth by Day, right? Let's pull it out. Let's get to the business. And I'm just going to kind of brief you on how we see these things. 55, right? Here we go. It says, for giving breath in the realm of the dead. Here we go. It says, I am the jackal of jackals. I am Shu, who draws the air into the presence of the sunshine to the limits of the sky. Now, we did the Divine Body series. We talked about the breathing. And who did I tell you was the boss? Shu is the boss of the air. He's the boss of the breathing, right? Right here, your nostrils, right here, very important. Before I even go further, right? Let me give you some visuals. Let me give you some visuals, baby. Visuals are important. Where's my share screen at? There's share screen. Share it. Sharing is caring. Where we at? Oops, I'm sharing, but I'm not sharing. I need to present it to everyone. Let's go into the bag. Wing. Visuals. Visuals. And as you can see, they're putting the ankh to the nose. You see Heru doing it to a sister who has the symbol of Mut on her head. You see Ampu doing it to a king above, huh? What's his name? Amen. What is that? Amen Hetep Ptah, or Amen Hetep uh Amen Hotep, right? Sarah Amen Hetep. You can see it right there, right in the shin. Amen Hetep. That's our brother. And Ampu got him right now, right? What's that? Ampu. Neb, he's a lord, right? So he's in the brothers, he's in our brother's hands right now. And these are probably some of the things that you would hear them say while you're dealing with the natural when that ankh is lifted to your nose, right? When you're breathing, when your nose is at the feet of the Nasu. It says this, it says, forgiving breath. This is hymn 55, it's spell 55. It says, I am the jackal of jackals. I am Shu who draws the air into the presence of the sunshine, to the limits of the sky, to the limits of the earth, to the limits of the plum of the nebeh bird. And air is given to those youths who open my mouth so that I may see with my eyes. Now, made a connection. Breathing is associated with opening the eyes. What happens if somebody shuts off your breathing? You black out, your eyes close, huh? So before we get to the eyes, we got to deal with the nose. Let's read hymn 56. It says, for breathing air among the waters in the realm of the dead, of the dua. It says, O Atum, give me the sweet breath which is in your nostril, for I seek out the great place which is in Wenu. I have guarded that egg of the great cackler. If I be strong, it will be strong. If I live, it will live. If I breathe the air, it will breathe the air. Take a deep breath. Take a deep breath. This is why my brother Ptah Sekhera Sar, my brother Infudisi Jehutimus, they tell you, they say, if you don't believe in the Necharu, try to hold your breath. They say, stop breathing. They tell you stuff like that on purpose. Let's go a little bit further. It says, this is hymn 57. It says, for breathing air and having power over water in the realm of the dua, in the dead. It says, oh happy, great one in the sky, and this your name of the sky is safe. May you grant that I have power over water like Sekhmet, who saved Asar on the night of the storm. Behold, the elders who are before the throne of abundance have sent to me, just as that august Necha whose name they do not know sent them. And they send me likewise. So he's on a mission. He's sent by someone. And he says, my nostrils are opened in Bucharest. You know what Bucharest is. That's one of Asar's hometowns right there. Let's go further. My nostrils are opened in Bucharest. I rest in Enu. My house is what Seshat built for me. Khnum stands up for me on his battlements. If the sky comes with the north wind, I will dwell in the south. If the sky comes with the south wind, I will dwell in the north. If the sky comes with the west wind, I will dwell in the east. If the sky comes with the east wind, I will dwell in the west. I will pull the skin of my nostrils. I will open up the place where I desire to be. Now, there's more information on breathing in the book. But I told you in the last video, I told you, didn't I? I said, when it comes to air, if you are uncomfortable, and we was talking about the breathing, it's the breathing video, Divine Body series. If you are not comfortable in the West, you better move to the North. If you're not comfortable in the North, you better move to the South. Did they not just explain that to you right there? Did they not just explain that to you right there? Very simple stuff. Very simple stuff. This is not complicated, but this is so you understand the breathing. Let's go to the mouth. So grab your book. Let's go to spell 63. Spell 63. And this is we won't build too much on some of these because we did that already, right? There's a whole video on some of these. But this is so you start to get used to the book. Here we go. We got a little marker for it. And it says this, 63A. Let me give you visual, right? Visual, always visuals. You see the brother right there? Drinking, making an offering. You see the brother right there? All right. That's your visual right now. Let's read. Let's see. It says, O bull of the West, I am brought to you, for I am that ore of Ra, with which the old ones are rolled. I will neither be burnt up nor scorched, for I am Babi, the eldest son of Asar, for whom all the Necharu have assembled within his eye in Enu. I am trusted heir with the great one, is inert. My name will be strong for me, and assuredly you will live daily through me. How do the Necharu live through you? I'm grabbing our elders today. What do they always tell you to do? And Fudishi told you this several times. He says, say their names. And what do you do when you pour the libation? And then you pour that libation, don't you? And you say what? Their names. And when you do, what do they do? Live through you. How do you think this is done? How do you think this practice survives? All around you, it seems foreign to you because you have an African mind. Everyone around you is talking somebody else. Your African brothers and sisters talk foreign. Your European brothers and sisters talk foreign. They talking about Jesus. They talking about Allah. They talking about that's a little foreign to you. You know where it came from because you know what it was made from. But you are used to saying your Aku's names, your ancestors' names, and the Necharu that make up your surroundings and you. You're used to saying those names, but you're out of practice. Hymn 63 is telling you, get back in practice. It's about that time. Let's go to 63b. It says, for not being scalded by water. Remember, I told you a lot of people, you're going to hell. You'll go to hell. We don't fear that verse. They do. They don't have a remedy in their books for it. They took the hellfire from your book, but they forgot to put the remedy in. Let's read the remedy. It says, I am that equipped ore with which Ra is rolled when the old ones are rolled, and the efflux of Asar is upraised at the lake of flames, which does not burn. I have climbed in the sunshine. O Khnum, who is in charge of whips, come, cut away the bonds from him who travels on this road on which I have ascended. We don't fear going to hell. There's no need to. We climb to the sunshine. What gets us there? Libations and burning incense for the ancestors and for your sake, because the ladder is built of what? The ladder of Heru is built of what? Incense and water and libations for the Necharu and your Aku. All you got to do is read your book, man. This is very simple. This means philosophically we can break things down, and this means we have a duty to respect our ancestors. Do you understand? It's very simple. It's not rocket science. Let's go further. Let's go to the eyes. Let's get a longer reading. You know, I want to get those who don't read books away from this channel, right? If you don't read books and all you do is video watch, and you don't pull your book out, you're dumbing down the culture. I need you to pull your book out, right? Let's go to hymn 140. Let's go to 140. I don't even think I marked 140 today. I didn't. Hymn 140 is 149. Because one thing about 140 is this. Let me show the children of Heru real quick so y'all can see them, right? That's what your body parts were going. Portions of them, right? Here we go. Hymn 140. We're talking about the eyes. And when we talk about the eyes, we're talking about the Necha Iru. Iru, I-R-U. And we also connect them with the ears, which is Sejum. And we'll get to Sejum right after we cover Iru. So let's start with chapter 140, because we're just going to cover a couple things about the eyes. We're dealing with the 7 openings of the head right now. And we're going to touch all 17 of the body parts. So it says this, it says, the book to be recited in the 2nd month of winter, the last day when completing the sacred eye in the 2nd month of winter, the last day. So this is a ritual, right? Don't get spooky. Don't get scary. It's because we doing rituals. We do rituals. What's wrong with you? What's wrong with you? African spirituality doesn't know. We do rituals. What's wrong with you? Let's go. It says, the mighty one appears. The horizon shines. So you already know who the mighty one is. Atum appears on the smell of his sensing from the incense. The sunshine nature has risen in the sky. The mansion of the Pyramidion, or the Merkut, is in joy, and all its inmates are assembled. A voice calls out within the shrine, shouting reverberates around the dua. Obeisance is done at the utterance of Atum Heru and Marquette. His Majesty gives a command to the Pasejetu Eniyu. Attendant on His Majesty, for His Majesty is happy in contemplating the sacred eye. Behold my body, to which protection has been given, and all my members have been made to flourish. His Majesty's utterance goes forth. His eyes rest in its place upon His Majesty in this 4th hour of the night. So they're talking about the 4th hour of the night and the dua and Atum being the majesty of that, and you traveling as a Nasar and using your eyes. Let's go further. His eyes rest in its place. His Majesty in this 4th hour of the night. And the land is happy in the 2nd month of winter, last day. The majesty of the sacred eye is in front of the Eniyed. Who's the Eniyed? The Pasejetu Eniyu. We know that, right? His Majesty shines as on the first occasion, and the sacred eye is in his head. Ra Atum, the sacred eye. Shu, Seb, Asar, Set, and Heru, Manchu, Ba, Ra, the everlasting. Jehudi, who travels eternity. Nut, Aset, Nebhet, Het Heru, the victorious, the 2 songstress Necheret, Ma'at, Ampu of the land, born of eternity, and the soul of Mendes, when the sacred eye has been reckoned up in the presence of the Lord of his land. It's telling you how important the eyes are. And it stands complete and content, These Necharu are joyful on this day. Their hands support it, and the festival of all the Necharu is celebrated. They say praise to you and praise to Ra. The crew navigate the sacred bark and the peppers failed, etc., etc. Their hands lift up the sacred eye. The eye is sacred, especially in the fourth hour of the night when the Amduat is shining because it shines nightly. Your eyes are very important. They are sacred. They are visual. They are what brings the light to your mind. That is the importance of the eye. This is why the ancestors venerated the eye. Notice they didn't venerate the brain, but they venerated the eye. I'm just giving you their psyche right now. Let's go further. Let's go further. Let's go to the ears. Let's go to the ears. And with the ears, I'm going to close the book, even though there's stuff in the book about the ears. The ears we call sejum. Call the ears sejum. And I'm going to bring up a visual for you because you need to see the visual for this. You need to understand what sejum is about. Present to everyone. There it is. You see this right here? You see that right there? This is the stela, which would allow people to speak to it, and they believe Ptah would hear them. There's also one for Amun, and they believe Amun would hear them. And if you did something out of order, such as there is a story of someone doing something out of order, they say Ptah heard it. There's a bet on droughts, if I'm not mistaken, and Ptah made that person go blind because they were cheating. You need to conduct yourself in that manner at all times, as if the Necharu can hear you, because they can. I said because they can. You see right here, it says Ptah, right in the middle, Neb. You see him? And you see there's about 41 ears on this thing. He can hear what your soul thinks. And he made the man go blind for being disrespectful in the bet on droughts. I believe this is in the British Museum, if I'm not mistaken. This is in the British Museum. Just so you know, you can see it right there. Ptah, Neb. And there's our brother right there. There's our brother right there. We could go further, but you see all these ears? These are the 7 holes in your body, in your face, pardon me. Let me close that. These are the 7 holes in your face. Stop sharing that. This is how your Aku believed. This is how they thought. This is the importance of the ear. You can't lie. You understand? It's not that the man actually was blinded by Ptah in real life. It's that you should conduct yourself as if it could happen to you. As if it could happen to you. Sejum and Eru. Let me give you something from the Sesh, right? I believe it's in Edfu. It's the eulogy of a teacher. The eulogy of a teacher says this. It says, you are knowledgeable in every you are knowledgeable in everything, like Eru, seeing, and Sejum, your hearing. When you can hear and you can see, then you are knowledgeable about your universe if you study those things. That's how they saw these 7 holes in the face. Even from the inscription at Edfu that Heru has, it says, you two Necharu belong to you, or your two Necharu, talking about the sight and talking about the hearing. It says your two Necharu belong to you, protecting you. Heru going over the heavens. The Netra of sight and the Netra of hearing are and the Netra of hearing, and your praised one Ma'at. So he keeps Ma'at and his Necharu of sight and hearing. His Sejam and his Iru are always with him, and they're always with you. Understanding your body being divine and treating it as such. Treating it as such. And like I said, the command for the Sesh, for their learning, of the eulogy of a teacher, it says you are knowledgeable in everything, like Iru, your seeing, and Sejam, your hearing. Now, I'm going to get a little pseudo right now. But it's not even pseudo, real talk. This is just the actuality of it. There are 7 sacred oils. This part is not pseudo. Let me get this to you. And if you embalm anyone, or if you are a priest, like you claim, then you know these 7 sacred oils and you use them on a regular basis. You do the Nini gesture when you do it. Your pinky. That's the Nini gesture. And you can see my hand has been broken, so it's difficult for me to do the Nini gesture, but there it is. We put the oil on with the pinky. Priest. With the pinky. You on the dig? I'm going to show it to you in a minute. That's okay. Watch. It says the 7 sacred oils. And you should know these. You should know these. The lotus oil, the sandalwood oil, the amber cashmere oil, the rose oil, the jasmine oil, the Egyptian musk, and the red amber oil. All of those are what? The 7 sacred oils. That's what make them up. And you hear me talk about them before. I read them the other day, but it's your job to remember them. We talked about the Hekanu oil. That's one of them. The Sejam oil. That's another one of them. I'm just giving them to you in English because you will never read the Medu Necha. You don't do it. It's upsetting. It's upsetting. Let's look at them. Let's see. Let's pull them up. Just so you get the visual, so you get the understanding. Because you should always have the understanding. And too many of you don't have the understanding. Let's see. There they go, right there. You know my favorite one is right here. Hekanu. This is the Sefetch. The Tuah. Tetech. Look. You should know these. You should be familiar with these things. Because when you get familiar with how your ancestors conducted their day and what they thought of themselves, you can start to think greatly, be greatly, and act greatly just like them. I'll get into their job descriptions later. I've done it before. Not tonight. Not tonight. We're just talking about the body parts today. We're going over the body parts today. But you should be familiar with these oils. This is all 7 of them right there. You're getting them live, baby. Should be familiar with all of these. Let's go to the other body parts, shall we? Let's keep covering everything. So we get everything in order. We start to get our minds in order. Now, it says the 2 arms. But I'm going to take you to a part which is really a ritual. But I'm not going to give you the full ritual. You should be able to read your book of Coming Forth by Day and see the ritual in it. It's for the elders as well as the adults. Let's go to hymn 99, spell 99, right? Spell 99. And let's see what it says. It's not. And this is, the brother is asking the boat carrier to carry him across to see the Necha Akin. That's you. That's you. But this is mythos. So we go here. And what this does is it asks for the boat parts, right? It asks for the oar. It asks for this. It starts about, it's like chapter 2. It says, what is it? Says Akin, I was asleep. Oh Akin, as you are endowed with life, bring me this, for see, I have come. This is you talking to Akin. And he says, who are you who comes? You say, I'm a priest, I'm a magician. He says, who? He says, are you complete? You say, I am complete. He says, are you equipped? You say, I am equipped. You're supposed to be an Aku, an equipped being. He says, have you taken care of the two limbs? I've taken care of the two limbs. What are the two limbs, little priest? That's what Akin says to you. He said, you say, they are the arm and the leg. O Akin, as you are endowed with life, bring me this, for see, I have come. And then he starts to ask you, have you power over this? Have you power over that? He starts talking about the boat of Ra's parts. What is he saying? He says, have you power over what I have not brought to you, magician? That is to say, this boat, she has no spars. And then you ask, what is missing from her? This is part of your initiation. And you start to go over the parts. Have you power over what I have not brought to you, magician? That is to say, this boat, she has no cable. And then you need to name each part. Bring the snake which is in the hands of Heman and of Ampul, the controller of the two lands, etc., etc. O Akin, you are endowed with life. Bring me this, for see, I have come. And you need to explain these boat parts. But when you finish explaining these boat parts, you will understand as you go over to, it's page 115 in mine, it might be different in yours. It says, have you power over what I have not brought you? Little magician, that August Netcher will say, have you ferried over to me a man what does not know the number of his fingers? And any priest should know the number of his fingers and how they work, and that they are associated with the different parts of the boat of Ra. Now, go read. Go read. This is one of the Shata, one of the secrets, one of the mysteries. You should know your hands are the boat of Ra, one of them. They're the different parts of the boat of Ra, or the boat you need to sell over with the ferryman to Akin. Your homework is to do the arms. You need to do your arms. You need to find your arms in this book. Find your arms in this book. Remember, that spell, that's him, chapter 99. Read it from the beginning. Read it from the beginning. I see y'all over here. Now, let's go to the legs. Let's go to the legs. Let's go to chapter 125. That's what we'll do. Chapter 125. This is a famous chapter, by the way. You find some of this chapter in your Bible somehow. For my Bible, because a lot of y'all hang on to that stuff, which is fine. If that's what you do, fine. I'm not knocking you, but you hang on to that stuff. And when you hang on to it instead of coming home, makes a lot of stuff difficult. Makes the psychology difficult. When we talk about the body parts, we usually talk about the 42 virtues of Ma'at. Now, we'll start here. When we talk about the 42 virtues of Ma'at, You are usually given this reading in the Hall of Truth. This is more initiation. When you're reading about the 42 virtues of Ma'at, you should know what that's about. You should know what happens when the soul supposedly comes out of that hallway, or when the living person comes out of that initiation session. Let's start a little bit. Let's see. Because we're talking about the legs, but I'm not going to give you the whole leg. I'm not going to give you the whole leg. I think you should read. You should know what your body parts are associated with in ancient Kemet. I can't see the chat yet. I'm gonna get to it in a minute. I don't know what's left in the chat right now. We're gonna get to that in a minute. But let's go in. It says, scale pan, which way truth is your name. I'm starting in the back, because we're not gonna go all the way through the 42 negative confessions. We just need to get to small portions. It says scale pan, which weighs truth is. It says, hold up. We'll start a little higher. It says, first and foremost, each part of the door, which you guys call a false door, which is the Ka door, talks to you. And it will not let you pass unless you know its name. And as you know its name, there's also a function of your body that is discussed. Let's go. It says, it says, I will not let you enter by me, says the right hand leaf of this door, unless you tell me my name. And you're supposed to know its name. Scale pan, which weighs truth, is your name. And it's going to keep going, and we're going to get in. It says, I will not let you enter by me, says the left hand leaf of this door, unless you tell me my name. Scale pan of wine is your name. I will not let you pass by me, says the floor of this door, unless you tell me my name. Ox of Seb is your name. That's the name of the floor. So you know your right hand, you know your left hand. All right. It says, I will not open to you, says the doorbolt of this door, unless you tell me my name. Toe of his mother is your name. I will not let you enter by me, says the hasp of this door, unless you tell me my name. Living eye of Sobek, Lord of Baku, is your name. I will not let you open to you. I will not open to you, says this door, unless you tell me my name. The breast of Shu, which he placed as a protection for a Sar, is your name of the door. We will not let you enter by us, says the cross timbers, unless you tell our names. Children of the Uraeus are your names. I will not open to you, nor let you enter by me, says the doorkeeper of this door, unless you tell me my name. And this is about to get important for the sesh, because you need to know who this person is, the doorkeeper. And we call him the Ox of Seb is your name. He said that twice. You know us, pass by us. I will not let you tread on me, says the floor of this hall of justice. Why not? I am pure. What are you? What are you? You are pure. Remember, we talked about that. You are Wab, you are pure, and you are what? Spiritual. Pure and spiritual. Don't forget those two things. Don't forget those two things. Very important concerning this book. Let's go further. It says, because I do not know the names of your feet with which you would tread on me, tell them to me. It says, secret image of Ha is the name of my right foot. This is the secret image of Ha. And the other foot is what? The other foot is the flower of Het-Heru is the name of my left foot. And this is the staff of Het-Heru. This is why you stand forth with your left foot as the staff. And you contain your secrets on your right side. And that's your right foot. The secret image of Ha is protected by the staff of Het-Heru. Stagger stepped, left foot forward, right foot back. Those are your feet. Part of your legs. It gets into the calf, etc., 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 etc. Read chapter 35, I believe it is. In chapter 103, in chapter 29, it'll tell you about your armor that you need to pick up for Heru. It'll tell you how you need to defend your truths, how you need to defend your body, how you need to defend your lifestyle, the Remetz lifestyle. And with that, we have covered the nose, the eyes, the mouth, the ears, 7 portions of the head. We left out the intestines, the 4 intestines, which are the children of Heru, Kabesenu, Duamutev, Seti, Happy. You can find those on your own. That's the easy portion. Your arms, we covered the portion. We covered the hands, the fingers in particular. And we covered your feet to the legs, which you need to know. You need to go check out. So you know your feet and your legs. Secret image of Ha, staff of Heru, and then you need to know your front side and you need to know your back side. That's your homework. Figure out who you are. You claim to be a divine body? Let's see. Go show it. Go dig these portions out in this book here. Because if you don't know the book, what do you have the book for? Remember who you are and be an Asar. But before I go, let me go into the chat room. Let me see what my brothers and sisters is talking about in the chat room. Let me see. Let me pull it up here. Let me see. We live. We live, baby. We lit. It's pulling up now. Let me pause it. All right, there it goes. My brother Sutek Haru in the building. Soul Power in the building. Cosmic Thoughts in the building. Let me see. Let me go further down the chat. Alafia, that's right. Emeta. Let me see what else. Let me see what else. I think we answered everything pretty much for the most part. I don't see no. I believe this is in. I don't see no questions British in there. Y'all can hear me talk. Right? You are endowed with. Let me cut that down. Say those body parts again, the ones you want us to find. Brother Sutak. So find the rest of your arms. I got it about the feet. I miss a lot of You'll rewind it. You know I'm not the most exciting talker unless I'm in person. When I'm in person, it's a whole nother situation. Right now I'm chilling on the couch after I banged up. So find your legs. You know your feet. Find the rest of your legs. Find your arms. Gotcha. You got your fingers. And if you read that chapter on, if you read the chapter on the hands, it's like 3 chapters on the hands. You'll understand when Heru takes you by the hand in front of the council of Asar, Shu, etc., and you are initiated. That's part of initiation. I will say that. And then your front part and your back portion. That may be more difficult, those 2 portions, because they consist of a lot of natural, like your backbone is the Djed column, etc., right? So that front and back portion may be a little more difficult. But your hands, very important. Feet, very important. The legs, very important, right? The staff of Heru, the secret image of Ha. Go dig up who Ha is. Go dig up, you know who Heru is. She's the one who commands you to pick up your armor and go battle with to go battle evil on a daily basis. See, when we move with these types of ethic codes, then this is a boxing stance, right? Left foot forward, right? This is your regular boxing stance. This is how you march in the army. Left, right, left, right. I know y'all heard that before. It's the truth. It's the truth. It's what it is. So this is how they thought of the body. These are the 17 parts. Imhotep, Yolanda. This is what you guys need to go Research so you know your body, so you understand how they thought, so you can start to use these parts accordingly when we start to do the rituals. If you're over there with my brother Ankh Menu in the Hen and Su clique, they're doing rituals now. We'll be doing. I'll show you. I'm gonna show you what it. I'm gonna show you what it is. It sometimes it make people start to change their game up a little bit. Just adding to the flavor, adding to the flavor, and it's because I go to the text, I go to the primary resource, all the important stuff, so you understand how to be. And it's a lot, so we do it in portions. We just doing it in small portions, but we make the body divine daily. Incense, pouring pouring libations for the ancestors, right? Talk to your body. I'm gonna tell you psychologically, but also actuality. When you go to the mirror and go tell yourself on a daily basis, what I want you to do is wash up first, right? Wash each limb 7 times. Each limb 7 times. We know this. How do we know 7 times? You can see the letters, the Amarna letters. Each person who addresses the Nasu states, I will come and I will prostrate in front of you 7 times as if it was a natural there, etc., right? So we know 7 times. We know the washing is 7 times because the Per Ankh and Edfu tells you, and then it shows you on the walls how to wash up. Shows you the 7 times. So these are things that you have to have in your libido, in your Rolodex. You have to have in your understanding. Let me show you the Jumalek papyrus before we leave, right? Just so you could kind of get an idea of how we know some of this stuff, right? We know some of your body parts from Anpu putting the SAR back together. So you should get familiar with these particular papyruses, right? Because where's he at? You see Brother Ampu up here? Let me hide this real quick. Let me enlarge. You see Brother Ampu putting his father back together? Some people think Ampu is Set's son. It's his stepson. Nebet Het got pregnant from a Sar. But look at his body parts right here. This is the Jumalek papyrus. Go look it up. For those who don't know, right? Here's some other body parts. This is your body. Cadaver style. This is just symbolic. That's you. Remember who you are and being a Sar. It's really that simple. It's really that simple. And to make your body divine, it covers that. Jumalek papyrus, rhind bilingual papyrus, not the mathematical one, the rhind bilingual papyrus. Remember, Rhind went into a few tombs, found a lot of papyruses. Each papyrus has his name, but that's not the actual name of the papyrus. Just so you know. Just so you know what's going on, because I forgot to show that piece right there. 17 portions of the body. When I go into the body parts of Ra, I'm gonna give you a head start. He has 7 souls. He has 14 ku, 14 doubles. If you go look for the 14 mounds in the book of coming 14 forth by day, you will know the doubles of Ra. Basic stuff you know you should know. That's a little more difficult. That's more priestly knowledge, but that's something that you should know. So go look in the book, check it out, you know, and we'll make it happen. And ask as many questions as you need to, and don't be afraid of any spirituality. Like I said, when it comes to the convolutions of the brain, beginning of the show, who has more, the scientist or the monk? This is a scientific experiment. The monk had like 80%. Scientist, I think, was 12 or 20. Stuart Hammerhoff. So if a discussion comes up, it has for me before. I had to pull this up. Like, you're not spiritual, but your faculties aren't really working well either. At least not on the level of mine. You're not spiritual. All you know is science. But I know science and the spirituality, and I've married the two. What's the difference between me and you? You don't know what it is, man. It's not rocket science. Anyway, let me check. Any questions before I go? Absolutely, sis. What's the name of the book? Which book? Can't be scared of the no, don't be scared of the rituals. If I go do a ritual and then one of these dudes try to engage me about it, what are we going to do? Have a conversation about how I respect my ancestors and how I respect nature. And then they'll say, oh, that's stupid. And I'll say, well, do you talk to your plant while you water it? And what will they say? Well, yeah. And you'll say, why? And they'll say, well, and then you can simply explain, as if you've been through the videos on here, when you talk to the water droplets become happy. When you talk badly to the water, they become nasty. When you talk to the plant is cognitive. And when you water the plant and talk to it nicely, it grows grand. When you talk to it bad and sour like, it grows poorly. They did it with plants. They did it with rice. The rice would either turn black because rice is white and it dies and it starts to turn black when it was talked to badly. It grew great when it was talked to well. This is science. So anybody claiming science, you know when you talk to me what it is. Y'all been in the hangouts with me. This is YouTube. I'm talking to everybody who's been in the hangouts with me, and all of them have been in the hangouts with me. When it comes to science, hold on, let me show y'all something real quick. Let me be clear. Let me be clear for my brothers at home. I'm gonna stop sharing for 2 seconds. Let me go grab it. Let me show you something real quick so you get to understand. So you know, we go. No. I don't want no listen, this is the kitty one right here. This is the kitty one. I keep my packages, right? I keep my packages. Let me see. Turn my camera on. There we go. This is my microscope, right? This is my microscope. This is my kitty microscope. These are my binoculars. You don't want me to pull out that big ass telescope in the part of my language. You don't pull that big old telescope out in the back. When it comes to what I do, I've been doing it for a while. So we don't play games with it like that. You understand? If somebody claims science, some of these brothers do know science. Sanjetti, shout out to Sanjetti, who's a priest. By the way, he's spiritual, by the way. He'll pull a microscope out. I've seen him in the lab. He gets my respect, right? So Jetty, you got my respect. I will pull out a microscope, right? I will pull out a telescope and I will show you the sky. I will pull out the stellarium and show you the sky. I've done it before, right? I'll show you where it's at. If these guys claim what they claim, show and prove, right? Simple as that. Simple as that. If you're talking, you better be able to handle the business. If you can't handle the business, stop talking. This is what we do on a regular basis for our normal enjoyment, right? But with that said, ETE Imhotep Sini Sinet Ankwas the Jed Henu. Remember who you are and be in the Saw. Dua, 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 and enjoy your day.